news.
Hello? Whoa. Whoa.
Green. Here is her anti-Creative Scotland rap.
I've been given a platform here on social media, and I take my platform very seriously. And I'm going to use it to fight for the rights.
With my lyrics and I spit fucking intricate, so damn intelligent, I'll never be illiterate. Then he turned me down, turn it up a little bit. Brain is like a robot when I spit, fucking infinite. Critic when I riddle it, fuck a switch, fuck a bit, suck a dick, spit until I'm legitimate. Coming in the game with the big balls, I'm the
6 o'clock tonight, this evening, you can tune in to the Discontent YouTube channel, where I will be discussing, might be discussing the Pride Bridge, which is a project that's costing about 300 grand, if not more, to give a pub a beer garden basically down at Newhaven. And maybe we'll talk about other things like Anna's Star Wars dancing. Anyway, 6 o'clock. What the 6?
I'm not in a hurry today for once.
And you the first motherfucker to jump to the trunk when it's time for fun. Little trick ass pump. Fuck motherfuckers don't die, we get high and we multiply, motherfucker. Give a holler to my niggas in the bank. I'm living in LA, still clutching on my AK. Rest in peace to my nigga Kato. Till they probably need nigga Lato. Thugs for life, thugs for life. High till I die when these stupid ass bitches ask why. Tell them thug for life. High till I die when these stupid ass bitches ask why. Thug for life. High till I die when these stupid ass bitches ask why. Tell them thug for life. High till I die when these stupid ass bitches ask why. Tell them.
in.
Yeah, I'm out in New Orleans, now I'm on a mission to get to Borland. Stars and television, I'm the new proclaimer, a long lost brother. We got the same mother, yeah, she had a secret lover. I used to dodge the tosses, all our England lovers. Right there in the Kirkcaldy, they never found the bodies. Then I moved to Emra, down Hall Mile Street. Mice in the kitchen, mice in the pantry. Cruising down Leaf Street, off-white fear. Driving so slow, but hey, I'm no fear. Past the playhouse in 1977, we saw the White Riot tour, we were in heaven. Cash Subway Sect and the Buzzcocks live. The Jam on the same bill, 225. Car boot sale, Greenside Place, Sunday morning, off your
walk, sandstone jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can do, now you're a leaf walk. These streets will make you feel brand new. The pubs will inspire you. Let's hear it for Leaf Walk, Leaf Walk, Leaf Walk.
You can catch the cowboy, you can catch the Rasta, nipping to Pretoria for a nifty pasta. You should know the Windsor, you should know Pierce's. You can reach the city limit, Elvis Shakespeare. Welcome to the pot bellies, dreams on jellies. Fall for the charms of the volunteer arms. Waiting at the bus stop in a green and white top, the number 14, 1122. Tourists looking for the castle and the zoo. It's a state of mind. Okay, it's a state, but we don't mind. It's not quite the Ramblers, but it's got Alhambras, lovers and killers, waiting in Priscilla's. Central Bar leading to the Kirk Gate. Long live Robbie's, it's apart from the Empress State.
Leaf walk, sandstone jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can do, now you're a leaf walk. These streets will make you feel brand new. The pubs will inspire you. Let's hear it for Leaf Walk, Leaf Walk, Leaf Walk.
Buenas. Buenas. Good morning, everybody. How are we all? Nigel says, good morning, everyone. A bit tired. Had a weekend in London. Who's with us?
I don't know
John McFadden.
why I'm telling you any of this.
I don't know why I'm telling you any of this.
Don't ever tell.
Gregor McIntosh has rejoined us. I take it you can hear me.
Don't save me. Just forgive me. Forgive
3 years since Russia's SMO began in Ukraine, and the EU and UK are still wasting billions on supporting Ukraine. I didn't disagree with everything Gregor says. Hold up. Morning to you, Matty Ross. It sounds like my microphone is distorted. Is it distorted? Let me know. Kit Kats, morning all. Sending out the good vibes. Sending out the good vibes to you too. Morning to you, RPM. Madame Gay. Madame. Rona, morning to you. My mouse, I've got a... Buongiorno. Carol Lagerfani. All the monikers. Morning. Loving the hair. You didn't miss a trick. You didn't miss, do you? You see it all, like, you know? Crazy hobo. Shout out to Alessandra Lucy for giving the old chopping the old locks yesterday. Another stellar job. Fit like, we've got an Aberdonian in the house. We've truly gone international. Let's just have another wee look at this. They moan about everything, don't they? I was trying to get the clip of the Huns up, but I couldn't get it. I'll get it off here. Where's my clearage? What a great result for the Highbees. At least you still got here. Here's to the hairless. We've got to appreciate it while we have it, right? Anyway, thanks for all joining me this morning. Look at this. Look at this piece of info. There's a very nice lady baked some cookies and gave me one. So I'm about to test it. I'm not being funny, but that is totally happening. Look at the size of the fucking thing. What kind of cookie? What kind of size of cookie is that? She had a tin of them, right? They should have been 20 of them. How do you make cookies that big? Is this true? Or is this a wind up? It's nearly 10:10. Follically challenged. Why is this distorting? Is it just distorting for me? Hash cookies. A bit early for that, surely. A bit early for the intoxicants, or maybe not. You know, is there a right time or a wrong time? Maybe they are laced with cannabinoids. Who knows? Right. I suppose we should probably start trying to. Wait. This is getting. This is why I love What the X, right? Because there is no agenda, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I better talk about this, I better talk about that, or I was speaking to Arpignon this morning, I said, right, well, we'll see if you've got some, because we've not had much time. We've never enough in time. But a bit of distortion, aye. What's going on with that? Hold on a minute. I think it's because it's
Let me charm the birds out of the sky. Did I see you?
Okay, how's that? I've got a loose connection. Right. Well, it was illegal to charge for it in any event unless you were Jewish. True story. That is quite mental. See, I started playing in the background there. That was "Fallen" by One Dove, right? You might be familiar with that. And I was thinking, like, I was going to tell a wee story about that track because it was a kind of seminal track in my life. But because it reminds me of a very interesting person, a very beautiful man that I knew when I was a beautiful man when I was a young boy. But I like this guy that I knew, and my big sister went to university, and I met this guy. He was like, he shared a flat. He was a student with my big sister, and he was the coolest guy you could ever meet, and he was an amazing guy. And but I'll come back to it another time, and I'll tell the story of this guy because he's an amazing guy. And but there's a mad vibe with like One Dove and that. He was older. He was like, he was a student with my big sister, but he got me into like One Dove and stuff like that. I mean, I was just a whippersnapper. But anyway, the moment's gone just now, so we'll just go back to some Monday Dub Club with a classic from Scientist. So, it was illegal to charge for it in any event unless you were Jewish. True story. Mental. Okay. Anytime, any place, anywhere, it's the right time. It's cookie time. Morning to you, my capella. It's a slow but casual, relaxed start this morning, So I'll tell you what's been going on as far as I'm aware. So it looks like Trump wants to sort of end the Ukrainian conflict, and the Europeans want to keep it going, right? And so Mikey, come on, right? They couldn't charge for a haircut on a Saturday, is that right? Is that because it's... Okay, I get it. Okay. Laws, eh? It's the law. So Trump wants to stop the war, at least in Ukraine. But the Europeans want to keep it going, and Starmer wants to put British boots on the ground. Is that right? I seem to have some kind of... Hold on. I think there's a bit of a bug. Anyway, so the sort of the vibe of the weekend, of the last few days, has been a little bit kind of... There's been quite a lot of chat about oh, look at this. Look at Pat Kane. Pat Kane's what can we say? I'm flattered, I'm honoured. Some of you might recall the other week there, I was on my period. And I moaned about people watching the show that never said anything about it. One of the people I singled out, which in fairness to Pat was by no means the worst culprit. But thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. I'm going to follow Pat Kane back now, and out of courtesy, I feel quite humbled now, You give a little love, you know what I mean? You give a little love, it all comes back, right? So that's what we're here. We need to start building a community. Look what he's done. He's punctured that harsh, acerbic, cantankerous exterior. It's all a front. He knows it's just a front. He knows He knows. Yeah. William Baird, thank you, because I need to come to that. William Baird, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I had actually forgotten, but I had bookmarked it. So we'll come to that. And the thing is, because he's blocked me, because I can't see his tweets. So sorry, I'm reading the messages here. But is there a war in Kiev? Because I know people who are visiting town for a holiday. I don't get it. It's like, and it's true. Scott Arthur is on his holidays in Ukraine. Morning to you, Belgium. Let's have a look, right? So we're off to a flyer. The Troubadour, the hue and cry Troubadour has endorsed What the X this morning, you know. What can we say? So let's go and look at my bookmarks. I think that's probably the best place to start. I didn't care what I've put in them. Billy Connolly. Anna Sarwar has condemned Billy Connolly, but people are saying that he was previously cheering him on. Are we surprised? This is the political class. Right, here we go. Thankfully I can look at it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it over here. You need to just bear with me a second. Sharpie's in Cambodia. Good morning to you, bro. Just give us a second there. Right. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the Laird of Camels. Here it is here. Okay. We'll have to go over here. I'll bring this over here. I mean, he's a special case, it has to be said. I'm even going to pause this for a second. Let's see. Right, here we go.
Brothers and sisters, based on what they've been facing. Good morning, it's Friday morning and I'm about to head out to Ukraine. A flight into Poland, then across the border into Ukraine on foot. It's obviously a really important time to go because the Monday
boots on the ground.
The 3rd anniversary of Putin's illegal invasion. So I really just hope to go there to show a bit of solidarity with our Ukrainian brothers and sisters, based on what they've been facing over the last 3 years and longer, if you go back to the annexation of Crimea. So when I'm there, I hope to meet local politicians, meet some serving forces, visit a hospital to meet some of the injured service personnel, and also just get a feel for how the country's coping. Booked this trip maybe around a month or so ago. I knew the anniversary was going to be important, but given some of the comments from some politicians on the international stage, it seems more important than ever to be in Ukraine to show a bit of solidarity. So I'll hopefully be able to post a few videos over the next few days.
We can't wait.
As you probably guessed already, you'll be viewing this a couple of days after I've posted it, and that's because I have to have a slight delay just for security reasons.
Security clearance, it's waiting on it, like, you know.
And also how the Ukrainian people are coping. Okay, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day.
Do you? Yeah. You take care. You take care, Scott. This is what we're dealing with, right? A guy who less than a year ago was trying to get a bollard in Ox gangs fixed. He's now gone to Treaty for Peace in Ukraine, like, you know? How is it possible? What has the world come to? Now, in fairness, the residents of South Edinburgh are responsible for this. So there we have it. What do we make of that? What do we make of Scott Arthur? Scott Arthur's peace envoy. Will he try to make contact with the Russians? Putin will be begging us to take him back. It's quite possible. I tell you what, Gregor. I love it. I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you all, right? But such is the way of the world. Once again, nobody would listen to Bob. I was telling everybody about Scott Arthur before anybody knew who about Scott Arthur, yeah? What's this, liars? That Fanny blocked me too. He's blocked everybody. Who is he not? Today, on who has Scott Arthur not blocked? Anyway, yeah, so there he is. Scott Arthur has gone to Ukraine. And the Ukrainians are all the poorer for it. Things weren't bad enough, like, you know. Anyway, so
morning, it's Friday morning, and
no, enough
to Ukraine.
Please stop, Scott. Please. Had enough of that. This is the guy that's trying to stay alive forever, is it? He's moved himself into a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Hannah's like, imagine actually knowing this guy. Fucking insufferable. He is quite an interesting character, though, has to be said. This was quite an interesting one. The woman that was, I don't know if you remember this woman, Evie Love, who was going on about wanting Leaf to be the next Copenhagen and was championing the pedophile success of getting the bus gate. It's a bus gate that's been installed when there's no actual bus route, which is quite an interesting one. But she's being sued for racial and ethnic discrimination. So make of that what you will. Jimmy McRae says, is he claiming the trip on expenses? I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that he will be claiming the trip on his expenses. There we go, I seem to have a wee bug with my messages today. You definitely do, Noisy Parker. So I tell you what, the kind of chat from the weekend, the vibe that was going on was Ash Sarkar was doing a bit of a what do they call it? Is like a reverse. Basically, this Ash Sarkar girl, who's quite, you know, and I was about to say in fairness, but I don't really feel like it's in fairness because she's kind of annoying. She's a bit younger than I thought she was. I thought they were a wee bit older. I think I found out she's a wee bit younger, but it's not really any excuse. This was my contribution to the debate. But she has basically been stepping away from the sort of burning vehicle of identity politics. And I think it's quite interesting because, you know, a lot of people are pointing out the hypocrisy of it, the fact that Novara and her kind of cohorts, when it suited them, it was very much it was very much something that they were very much part of and kind of keen to espouse and to lecture everybody about white privilege and all this kind of stuff, you know. But I think the thing that, like, from a personal perspective, I think the thing that's quite intriguing about all this is, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's kind of, I think it is a bit interesting because, you know, we've known this for a long time, right? And I think it's kind of impossible to kind of see what's occurring at the minute with Sarkar and Novara without talking once again about you know, the elephant essay in the room, exiting the vampire castle. And obviously, for those of you who are familiar with me and my endless rhetoric about class politics, will know that I obviously felt so strongly about the issue that I made a short film about it last year. I just think it's interesting because it's like it's essentially what are they saying? They're basically just going back to the same point that Fisher made in 2013. So I just find it all a bit weird, really. Do you know what I mean? That there seems to have been this kind of willingness to just jettison this very, you know, strong and stinging critique that Fisher wrote. And I mean, my personal opinion about it is that I never knew Mark Fisher, but I do feel that there's an argument to be said that he was maybe tipped a wee bit over the edge by some of the attitudes that refused to kind of abate. And I just think it's worthy of consideration. But I think it's also interesting, you know, like I put up some clips yesterday, or a clip yesterday, of the discussion that I'd had with Ashley Frawley. If you're not following Ashley Frawley, you should. She's a blistering intellect. She's a phenomenal individual. She's a sociologist. She's an international leftist. She's got an amazing Patreon that she continually uploads material to and content to it. So she's an incredibly industrious lady, and she's very well respected. And she was also very, very kind and venerated my film, which I was obviously flattered about and pleased for her to discuss. But, you know, from a personal perspective, when we look at Scottish politics, we look at Scottish culture, I was kind of making that point at the time, you know. It's interesting how unwilling sections of the Scottish middle classes or the academic classes are to look at certain people's work. What's going on with it's still there. 223 viewers on X this morning. I must admit, I'm a bit lackadaisical this morning, but I'm not too bothered about it. We have always been at war with iDepot, says Noisy Parker. That's true. I think that's true. What is this? Did you see this stuff about the First Minister's side of France? What is that in relation? Wife of France. What is this? The First Minister or what? Are we talking about Macron? And the fact that, like, Brigitte Macron is meant to be a man. Come on. I think we're getting into sort of genocide deflection or something at this point. I mean, I know that Candice Owens is apparently pro-Palestine, but I mean, what is that? Let's take it, like, you know, come on. Hold on a second. We've got a raft of comments on X. Nice one. Sure, that's easy for you to say. Who does he think he is? I'm behind the times. A handbrake turn. I don't believe that Bridget Macron is a man or ever was a man. sorry to buck the conspiracy nuts, but like, come on, there's some things that are like just a little bit too far. It's that whole thing with like, what is this obsession with like, you know, it's like Michelle Obama is a man, Bridget Macron is a man. Like, what is this? It's just nonsense. It's just absolute nonsense. I'm going to take a small commercial break. I'll be back in just a moment. All right.
If you look online and stuff, there's loads of read-throughs of it and all the rest of it. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Anyone can read it. I don't need to sit and read through. I don't need to read it. Why would I do that? You know, anyone can read it. So I was like, well, why don't I try to, you know, really just explain it in some way or another, which I think I've managed to do. I think I managed to do that.
It's really good, and there's so many wonderful quotable lines and memorable lines. And I wonder if you did that on purpose, because it's very clippable.
Class has disappeared, but moralism is everywhere. Where solidarity is impossible, but guilt and fear are omnipresent.
He accuses liberal elites and online left identitarians of propagating guilt, weaponising victimhood and feigning marginality in order to distract from the reality of their privilege and influence.
Fisher writes, "The problem the Vampire's Castle was set up to solve is this. How do you hold immense wealth and power while also appearing as a victim, marginal and oppositional?
The sanctimonious denizens of the Vampire Castle appear devoid of humour, incapable of nuance, are genetically passive-aggressive and bound together by their own dark hearts."
Mark Fisher determined that the neoliberal project must suppress class consciousness in order to sustain itself.
By negating class, the anti-racist, anti-fascist, anti-sexist, anti-TERF, anti-gammon, anti-Nazi, anti-meat, anti-science, anti-oil, anti-honesty, anti-capitalists operate in the interest of capital.
I mean, like we didn't already know, right?
Was there a moment that made you think, was there something that happened that made you think, I need to get this essay out here in a new form and to explain it better? Was there something that you thought, look, this is still really important and relevant?
Yes, I think what I'm wanting to talk about, which nobody talks about enough, and what we need to be talking about is capitalism. And we need to be talking about what capitalism is now and where we're at with neoliberal capitalism, hyper-capitalism, advanced capitalism, as Teddy Eagleton or somebody would say. You know what I mean? I think this is the conversation that has to be, any political conversation that has to occur now with the political class that we have, because I don't delineate between political parties. I just see bureaucrats and the political class. I'm not interested in somebody going, oh, the Tories, the Labour, they want to moan about Labour and the Tories are bad. It's like, no, anybody who's subscribing to this is genuinely insulting the working class, because none of these people are in a position to assist the working class. And if we continue to excavate and destroy our cities, our countries, our societies in the way that's been done, whilst the tiny little demographic that do vote just get their needs serviced in ever more reduced ways, we're really we're already there. We're not far off it. We really are not far off it. So something has to happen here. And the thing that has to happen is we need to start talking about capitalism.
I'm back. I didn't realise that the First Minister of France was still there. Well, there we go then, eh? Fire in the madhouse at the end of time, says Beldam. Is that where we are? Are we in end times? People say this, you know, people say, oh, we're in end times. It's quite mad, you know. I mean, if you go to like this was everybody was losing their. It'll delay a wee bit if I play this, but it's basically like, will it play? It might be, you might be hearing that, I might not actually, to be honest. Everybody seemed to get upset about Nicola Sturgeon. I don't really know what else to... I'm past caring about all this stuff. I just think it's all a bit bizarre. People have decided to become enraged. The Crossgate Centre, right? This is the Crossgate Centre is... What is the Crossgate Centre? The Crossgate Centre supports Alex Salmond, okay? That's certainly a commitment. What are they hoping he's going to do? There's the real Sturgeon. The dumpy wee narcissistic betrayer of the Scottish people's sovereignty, doing a cringe-worthy bop, hugging Kirsty bloody work, and clearly imagining she's some kind of rock star amongst a gathering of inane Brit media B-listers. Well, with social commentary like that, we don't need me. You don't need me. Just tune in to see what the Crossgate Centre's got to say. It's all a bit bizarre, really. I really don't care if... how have they elected this idiot? Well, we know how. Kind of like, you know, a racist snob. What's happened, right? What's happened with Anas Sarwar? Can we get a bit of a communique about this? There's a message appeared in my X chat here from an interesting individual. That's all I can say. This is quite good. I'll come to that in a second. Good to see you, Barley. It's bullshit. What's bullshit and fake news? Everything is bullshit and fake news. Hello and welcome to Bullshit and Fake News. Sarwar says Billy Connolly is outdated, vulgar and offensive. Is this what's bullshit? Did he say this? Is it fake? Right, is this a waste of time? Is this a load of nonsense, right? Basically, is that what we're saying? There's no truth to this. So who wrote the article? AI. He would end the culture of vulgarness. Alright, what is it? Is it just because... is it a tenuous link to something that he's said? For fuck's sake, like, I mean, and then you get, let's get these big proclamations. Billy Connolly is the most famous Scottish person alive today. He's a national treasure and one who climbed out of poverty to become a legend. Anas Sarwar doesn't represent any Scots and tried to erase them by renaming them the people of Scotland. Anas is a racist snob. Fucking hell, biology rules. Okay. It's like, it's just a sort of, where was this account? Is offensive, being offensive is an offence nowadays, is it? Well, what is offensive? Today on What is Offensive? What's going on here?
Guys, he's got him. Keep running, boys!
Is this real? Come on.
Guys,
Is this real? It can't be real.
Guys,
Come on, man. That's got to be a skit, right? You do get coppers on roller skates, like, you know? Nothing is real. Quite, George Patterson, you're quite right, mate. Nothing, nothing is real. Right. Hold up. Somebody's phoning me. You can't phone me now. So what happened with the Huns? That was quite funny. And Clement has gone. Here's Mary Hunter to confirm. George Patterson says, my timeline, my Twitter timeline is absolutely full of shit like this. Yeah, we can't deny, we're just saturated with a barrage of absolute pish. It's just a... So what is 100% fake news? It's not all bad though, is it? Let's be honest. Why were the Celtics so intent to why were they trying to make out like the ball was in? It was the in. Do you know what I mean? Who are you trying to kid? They just feel entitled, don't they? They hate it. They just fucking feel like they should get everything. Loads of racism though, eh? There's just tons of racism, man, it's horrible. Patterson says, we are entitled. You've certainly got a title coming. Well look, we've got, what is this? This is some sort of peacekeeping envoy going on here. I DM'd Mike Small yesterday on Substack and he said you used to be a good friend of his, even working together on several projects. He thinks you're talented. I think Mike's a good writer. I think Mike's talented. But, you know, just there's certain things you're like, come on, eh? It's politics, isn't it? And it's politics and culture. Let me say something about Mike Small. Let me say something about Mike Small, right? People, I'm quite, okay, I think Mike Small can be a bit snobby sometimes. But I'm going to say this and I mean it, and it's absolutely 100% correct, right? In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do, right? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll follow Mike Small back out of courtesy. Look at this, this is like some sort of like, you know, I'm going to feel dirty about doing this tomorrow or later on this afternoon. Pat Kane and Mike Small on the same day. Right, look here. Right. Where are we? Right. Okay. Only a few days in. £4,303. He wants 20 grand. How do I do this? How do I get the... You gotta be careful when you're doing this, eh? You'll end up seeing all my messages and that, eh? Right. Now, why would I do that? I'll tell you why I'll tell you why. What was in that cookie? I don't know. I'll tell you why I would do that, right? Because I didn't agree with Mike Small on a lot of things, and I think that, like, we're definitely not on the same page politically on some things, right? But let me make a wee point about this, right? Wings Over Scotland has had about £1.5 million, and Wings Over Scotland, the Stuart Campbell guy, right? He absolutely loves to attack Bella Caledonia for being, like, you know, pretentious and whatever it is, right? He loves to attack Mike Small and Bella Caledonia, right? But Mike Small and Bella Caledonia, whatever way you want to look at it, right, has definitely invested more in Scottish art. As much as I think that right, there's right, why Pat Kane as well. Pat Kane and Mike Small never criticised the RAIN project. They never attacked Creative Scotland's nepotistic funding of these middle class chancellors, right? They never even mentioned it. That pissed me off. And I don't believe that there was enough of an attack on the Scottish middle class establishment and the political establishment when it came to Angus Robertson. I'm going to repeat this till the end of time. Angus Robertson shouldn't be in a job. Angus Robertson met the Nazis during the genocide, and he shouldn't be in a job. Angus Robertson is an insult to Scottish culture. And anybody who supports Angus Robertson and wants to go and get their picture taken with Angus Robertson and be affiliated with Angus Robertson, and during this current epoch, in my opinion, you turned against him. Do I look like I've turned against him now? Right? Now, why would I do that? Right? I'm just telling you now, straight. I've got nothing to hide, right? But the reason I would say to support Bella Caledonia, even though I think people should support me and What the X, and because I think what we do with What the X is dynamic, and I think that the ambition for what I would like to do with What the X is dynamic, and I think what I'm trying to do in Edinburgh is totally unique, and it has never been done before, but people choose to not look at these things. But that's up to them. But here's what I would say, right? Mike Small and Bella Caledonia has done more in the period of independence, post-independence, Scottish culture and all the nonsense to do that. Much, much more for Scottish art and Scottish culture and Scottish writing by far than Wings has, right? And there's people that want to compare these two things, and you'll get a whole bunch of partisan folk that would start spitting feathers at me and kind of, like, you know, just they'll never see past what Stuart Campbell does, right? But Stuart Campbell's had a lot of money out of, you know, well-meaning Scottish people who are looking to do something interesting or who want more. And whatever you say about Mike, and you cannot say that I haven't been hypercritical of him, and I have. And I would say things. Mike has annoyed me to the point where if I've not seen him for ages, but if I've seen him in the street, I probably would say, have words with him and call him into question over a couple of things. But in the interest of fairness, his desire to support Scottish-based art and culture is genuine, right? And that's why I would say support them. I'm not a big fan of the long-form essay these days. I think the way that people consume media is different. I think What the X is an example of that. Sharpie says Mike is a good guy, and I have to be honest and say I have to agree with that. It's like, yes, I disagree. I can be wide about these things and all the rest of it, but it's like in terms of his desire to, you know, like, he's definitely supported Scottish artists and Scottish culture in ways that Wings has never even come close to, because Mike has facilitated things for me in the past, and it would be disingenuous for me not to say that he hadn't. Mike has put people in touch with me to support me on certain projects, get a wee bit dollar in my pocket for a couple of things. So it would be wrong of me to basically to pretend that wasn't the case. So if you like that kind of stuff or whatever, and you can help Mike to get to his target to keep his independent platform going, then yeah, support him. Do you know what I mean? But I think that if you look, for example, at the Wings Over Scotland guy has a deeply unresolved sexual issue with himself. And he likes to go out and say, oh, Bob always goes on about this stuff. It's like, I'm not being funny, mate, but you spend all day, every day, hyperfixating over men and dresses. And it's basic psychology. That means that you have some sort of unresolved sexual inadequacy or sexual issue with this particular thing, you know? The world is burning as... what's his name? Belton was going, it's a fire in the madhouse at the end of time, you know? As I was saying to Ashley Frawley in my discussion when we were talking, see, it's like, you know, we want to break out, right? We want to try to have conversations that aspire to be bigger structural discussions about the problems that we've got. And the political class are a massive issue. I noticed the other day that Wings was advocating for, you know, subtly kind of suggesting that a vote for reform might be something to consider. It's no different from voting for any other member of the political class. He may think he's scoring points on the SNP or somehow, you know, winning some small battle here or there on those issues by saying this. But reform is just another corporate, parasitic bunch of establishment bastards run by Farage. There is no way on this planet that reform are going to actually deliver. You know, they might top thump over issues of immigration. They've got everybody's whipped up into these frenzied, kind of like crazy mindsets about things. But we need to have something that aspires for something better, and that has to be something that includes that it has to be class-based. It has to be first and foremost class-based. You know, that's why I always found the whole Navarra thing and this pursuit of identity politics, and like I said to Ashley, you should watch that interview between me and Ashley. If you join Ashley's Patreon, you can watch the second part of that discussion, which I went back and looked at it, and I thought, you know, we definitely say things that I think are quite interesting. Well, I would say that, wouldn't I? Because it was me that was saying that. But basically, you know, I think we are at a really weird point in culture and society. It's 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, but we're off to a good start this week, right? We've got Pat Kane giving us the nod. I've followed Mike Small back. I've definitely shot in his cookie, eh? I like this. I turned against him. I've turned against loads of people. Nah, you know what it is? I think, to be honest, it was the. I think that issue with Robertson boils my piss more than anything else. I think that the fact that these kind of like these people are always kind of like they're always kind of like, oh, we've got 1,000 artists to sign this letter about this, or we've got a bunch of people to do this and a bunch of stuff to do that. It's like, well, why can you not get a bunch of people to say that we want Angus Robertson to get to fuck? Like, seriously, it's like that's one that I struggle with. I have to be honest. What we're looking at, what time is it? 6 minutes. 6 minutes to 11. Waffling. We're still here. Wings believes his own type too much. Wings is very much a troubled hate merchant. He's definitely, I mean, like, I'm not going to get into it. It's just, we've said enough already, do you know what I mean? It's like, I've said where I think that he deserves, you know, acknowledgement for what it is that he can do. But he's very hypocritical and he's a liar, right? That's the thing about him. He's a liar. Because I'll find it. I'll find it next time we do it. I made this image of J.K. Rowling. I was saying this to somebody. It was like an Emperor's New Clothes image. It was a satirical image where I stuck her head on some bird in the buff, and it was like a. I can't remember what it was. It was like an office meeting. It was a sort of mischievous image. It was around about 2017 or 18, I think. It was when you could post. It's when you could pin any tweet to your page. It didn't just have to be a tweet that you'd made yourself. And he pinned it to the top of his page for about 3 months. 100%, he did it. It was on the top of his page for ages, for about 3 months. And I pulled him up about it, and he I mean, this isn't just the first thing that he's totally and utterly denied all knowledge of, but he was basically like, that never happened. And I was like, what are you trying to say? I never made it up. But that's just one instance. But he's very creative in the way that he likes to sort of detach himself from things, you know? Anyway, we've afforded too much time talking about him this morning. So, what the X is becoming Camp David Gray. Right, now today, just to let you fill you in on a few things, I tried on Friday to book this venue that I want to do this talk at, and they didn't get back to me, so I'm going to try again today, and then once I get that sorted out, I'll announce that. So hopefully we can have that organised on Wednesday, and we can find out what will be going on with that. Here's Wings here. I don't know, I can't be bothered even. This guy's this is the attack on the drug consumption room thing. This seems to be an angle that they're going on. I'm vaguely aware of it. It's a Ouija thing. But it was this is where they find something to fizz needle. But apart, you know, as far as I'm aware, it's the same in Edinburgh. Like, if you phone the council, because I have phoned the council when I've seen needles, and I have to say, they have come and cleared those needles very quickly. I don't know if it's the same in Glasgow, but definitely here they do tend to clear them pretty quickly. There's an endless right. Can we just establish is the Sarwar Conley thing nonsense? Because it's just all everybody's now talking about, right? Which is maybe what the intention was. How's that? I'm hearing myself in another ear. Right, okay. It's been a bit of a meandering morning, to say the least. But I've enjoyed the attendance. I do feel a little bit. That's the guy that reformed in 7 months. He's blocked me too. It's been a morning of reconciliation. How long will it last? Who knows? A ceasefire, a what the X ceasefire. But maybe it's what we need. You know what, right? It's a beautiful morning this morning. It's a beautiful morning. I think I'm going to go for a wee walk now. I think I'm going to go for a wee walk up Calton Hill and look out over my bonny city. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat the rest of this cookie. Definitely a bit suspicious now about the ingredients. Right, I'm going to leave yous, and I'm going to leave yous with an incredible piece of music. It's genuinely off the hook. I started off with Dot Allison's early project One Dove, and I'm going to finish with her latest project, which is with my wonderful friend Anton Newcomb of Brian Jonestown Massacre fame. And it's a new project called All Seeing Dolls, and this is called Lady Buzzkiller, and it's absolutely incredible. So I'm going to leave you with this, and I shall catch you all again on Wednesday morning and see who will be blocking. If the gates aren't locked, right enough. If the gates aren't locked, right. One love, people. Take care. Have a nice day. Ciao.